Hey YouTube, this is Kendall with Azure Bricks. I'm back with you today to tear down the Christmas village. There's a lot that goes into this, and I've done it several times. I think I've got a pretty good system. Thought I'd share that with you guys in case you can pick up on any of the tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the way. The main thing I store things in here are these big hefty totes. I've got several of them in these big deep ones, and then some of the shallow ones as well. Mainly just using the deep ones here for the Christmas village. And then within the totes, I put all of the buildings into bags, various sizes. I just keep reusing this same pile over and over, but I've got a bunch of different kinds. And then I just picked up some new ones today. They're 2.5 gallons, which I think is gonna be great because some of these buildings are getting a little big and won't fit in your standard gallon bag. We kind of do this in layers. So we're gonna take down, I believe, the trees first. Then we're gonna go through another pass and take out the minifigures. I do like to try and bag those up into kind of small categories, whether it's like just the North Pole and then everyone else, or maybe even some more categories now that we've upgraded the village quite a bit. And definitely put some of the individual scenes into individual bags so that we can easily just find all the parts we need to set up those same scenes next year. We're gonna get started on this, and I will do a time lapse and come back with you in a moment. This is a lot of trees, probably 1.5 gallons of the small pine trees. There are two types of trees that I have in the display, the small and the rather large, about 50% larger. They don't make the large ones anymore. They're not currently in production anyway. Hopefully we'll get some more in the future. I do prefer these as they are at least a little bit more to minifigure scale. These are a little bit miniaturized. However, they do give a good force perspective if you are doing something up on a hill or something like I am. So I have far fewer of these, so I do like to keep them separate. I'm gonna have them in their own little bag here within the bag of big trees, because I do like to place them pretty deliberately to make the best use of them. So that is all the trees removed, and it makes a huge difference. One thing I can say is invest in trees if you want a outstanding Christmas village. All right, we're gonna do another time lapse. Next layer we're gonna be removing is the minifigures, and I'll be again segmenting them into small little scenes, such as the little carolers here, or maybe just the family members that I've placed. Want to keep those together so I can find them easily. All right, I've removed all of the figures that I'd like to remove and put them separately into bags. And now it is time to start bagging up individual buildings. So I've just got a large bag here, and I'm just gonna find a building. This is the Honeydukes from the Hogsmeade Village Visit. It's a hard set to say. Does it fit in the bag? Probably. Doesn't need to close necessarily, but what happens here is if something like little piece of the roof or a chimney or something falls off, it's just going to remain in the bag, and I know where that piece came from, so it's a lot easier for me to deal with in the future. Does not look like it's going to fit. Oh no, it is. Okay, got past it. So slide that down in there. There it is, and it will zip mostly. I'm just going to go ahead and knock that chimney off myself. Zip it up. We've got a building in a bag. So any little accessories inside that may fall off while it's rattling around, headed down to the basement, will be contained. right, found some more trees. Add to the bag. All right, that was pretty quick and painless. Stuff is gonna break, stuff is already broken, but the point is you're gonna have it in the bags so that you know where to put it back together later. I did want to show you one pro tip that I really think everyone should be doing is making templates for the buildings that you've got. So now that we've got an empty space, I can kind of show you how this works. I've got one that says gingerbread house here, and I've just traced onto some colored paper here the outline of the base of the building. So I can use this when I'm placing out my my Christmas village to see where all of those buildings are going to go, especially some very odd shaped ones like Santa's Visit. You know, how is that going to be integrated into the layout? You know, maybe this big old house is going to go up here, and maybe I've got this, you know, I've got the outhouse that can go over there, and then I've got different trees as well. Let's see here. There's one small tree that can go right there, and laying this out like that can really, really help kind of get the flow and the different levels that you're using for your village. All right, let's try this again. All right, now that everything's cleared off, this gives a good chance to talk about this bridge, now that we can get a better view of it. This is a custom build that I did a while back for a Harry Potter display, and I've just kind of kept it around. I've added it into the past few Christmas villages that I've done, and it's just really useful. I've also added it into some other builds that I've done at conventions and things like that, as well as had it in my Lego City downstairs a few times, but it just comes in handy. I will be redoing this. I now have the parts, I believe, to redo the arches in light gray, and I originally used all of this masonry brick. I think I'm going to redo it and not use so much, just to give a more interesting texture, but I do like having kind of a standard bridge that I can just put into any old layout, and it works for modern builds or old builds, Christmas builds, doesn't really matter. The bridge is really, really useful. All right, time to tear down the North Pole and tear down these rock faces as well that are all just kind of individual. I'm just gonna put all these in a bag by themselves. I was considering removing the polar bears to eventually put them in my zoo. However, I got the new Arctic set that has another large polar bear and then 2 small polar bear cubs. So I think I'm just gonna leave these 2 here and use those 3 new polar bears that I got for the zoo. So I'll get started on this. All right, now that all the buildings are removed, we can see a bit more detail on the levels that are used. So if you missed my first video going in depth on the Christmas village, these are just cardboard spacers, and the top layers I have just used glue stick and craft paper to stick some kind of snow to the top. But using the different levels, even small levels can really help give a head height even to a minifigure. If you have a minifigure here and here, you can see them kind of like bleachers or risers, and then give some really, really big levels for whole buildings. You know, you can stick a store here and then still see something else above. So this is where the ice skating rink was, and then the kind of shopping district, and then the train stations over here. The train tracks are not going to get stored with the Christmas stuff because I am going to hopefully use those in the city. We will see. All right, I'm going to tear all this down and get back with you in a second. Okay, now that everything's all cleared off, I'm gonna get the tubs out, and we're just gonna try and slot all these things in there, putting the big stuff on the bottom. And if you're careful, you can actually stack buildings on top of each other. Again, they might have a couple of pieces that break off in transit and storage, but honestly, it's not gonna be that big of a deal because all the little pieces are gonna be in the bag with the building. And if you were the one that built it, you will probably remember where it goes anyway. And if you don't, then honestly, no one else can remember either. So just put it wherever you want. All right, there it is, all packed up. Now, one thing I did do here in this one is I put those templates right on top, so I can use those right off the bat when I get this out next year. If you aren't subscribed yet, subscribe so that you can see me put it back up next year. And for those of you that were dedicated enough to stay to this part of the video, you get rewarded with the most satisfying part of the entire teardown. All right, guys, that wraps up the Christmas Village for the year. I wanted to thank you guys for all of your support. I got a video, over 1,000 videos at this point. I just really appreciate it. This is a new channel for me and a new set of skills that I'm working on. So appreciate all your support. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Please leave me a comment telling me what you want to see in the Christmas Village next year, or what you'd like to see on this channel in the future. Bye for now, guys. Thanks.